Good morning, good afternoon and good evening from wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to day 2 here at Gelleråsen Arena. It has bucketed it down last night and the track at the moment is wet. They're still trying to clear some of the standing water. For the people who have missed yesterday was Dante Jonsson winning the race ahead of Kevin Sørensen and Elias Adestam in P3. He came all the way back from P9, an incredible drive from him. For today, well, difficult weather conditions, like I said, at the moment, standing water and everything. Yesterday the race was kind of dry, so the drivers are going in with no knowledge. Early morning here, it's about 9 in the morning for the drivers. Yeah, looking forward to it. Let's see if we can have an interview with some of the drivers. Elias, coming from P9 yesterday, starting a bit higher up the field, how are you feeling?
It feels great. I mean, it's different conditions today, and it's going to be tricky to find a grip. I heard there's a lot of standing water, so we'll see what we make of it after turn 1.
What are you going to try and do off the start?
Just keep in one piece. It's a long race. We need to keep focused on the objective and not to get too full of ourselves.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's Elias. Like I said, a good race yesterday, coming all the way back from P9. If we look at Kevin Sørensen, I really quickly want to go to Kevin, because Kevin is a really good driver in the wets especially. Kevin, going into race 2 now, you're a good driver in the wets. What are you looking for?
Just looking for a nice race, man. Hopefully it will be good for the championship points, but it depends on Elias. It's how he finishes. But I'll make sure to finish in front.
At the moment, there's standing water on track. What are you going to try and do about that?
Just look at the first warm-up lap to see where it is, and then go for the dry spots as much as possible.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Kevin Sørensen, also a good race for him yesterday, coming through in P2. 56 thousandths of a second it was yesterday. For me, it's time to go up there in the booth, and I'll join you in a second with these beautiful Aquilas out on track.
Och jag låter dig. Då så gott folk, välkomna ska ni vara till den här livestreamen från Gelleråsen Arena utanför Karlskoga. Här kommer vi bjuda på fantastisk racing under dagen. Vi har ett fullmatat program framför oss. Och jag hoppas ni där hemma har dukat upp med mycket snacks, för det kommer bli action redan här nu klockan 9 när vi ska ut med Race 2 för Aquila Formula 1000. De körde ju det första igår eftermiddag, men nu är det fortfarande ganska våt bana. Det har varit ett ordentligt skyfall här i natt över Gelleråsen och till
back and let's have a little bit of a look at how we're looking for this first race of today as a lineup. It's Dante Johansson who won yesterday's race, who's starting from that pole position ahead of Kevin Sørensen in P2 and Elias Adestam in P3. Then Johan Granfors in P4, Andreas Skotebo in P5, a good race for him yesterday as well. Then Alexi Danielsson in P6 and Victor Carlson in P7, Rodrigo Seabra in P8 and Robin Hofström in P9. Christian Love, he is not taking part in this race. He had issues with the clutch yesterday. After the race, the mechanics have been trying to fix that problem the whole night. They got the car up and running, could not engage the gears. It was a complete package that they put into the car. And, well, the package did not work as expected, so they had to completely redo that car. So they have withdrawn from race number 2, race 1 of today. That means that in P10, it's going to be Oskar Melstig. In P11, Carl Svensson. 12th for Fredrik Lindholm, 13th for Louise Larsson, 14th for Johan Valand, and 15th for Jonathan Ölander. So everyone has moved up a spot. That is how we're looking for this lineup here today, but you can see how wet it is out on track. It's unbelievably wet, and well, these guys are going to have to try and work with that. Safety car now. Pulls around. We're going to use a different track than what we were doing yesterday. That is due to the water that is on the inside line, and especially coming through the left-hander before we go into the last corner. That is a corner where you're going to have to watch out. Drivers are now then lining up here. Like I said, Dante Johansson, a good race yesterday. He will start from the pole position ahead of Kevin Sørensen. Drivers currently trying to warm up their tires desperately. Every little bit helps in these conditions, especially with it being so wet out on track. Tire temperature is a crucial point. So then, you might ask me, where are the places where the green flag is? Or the green flag, the standing water is. That is coming out of turn 7, or going into turn 7, coming out of turn 6, going into turn 8, the quick left-hander before we go into the last corner, and also turn 2, the second part of turn 2, there is standing water. Well then, drivers are almost lined up. The drivers are trying to find their grid spot, so immensely important. See, here is the problem. Some drivers have lined up in the grid spot from, I think, if I am correct, Christian Lovin, and they will not be starting where I said they will. They will all go back that position. They will not gain that position. He is withdrawn from the race, so they'll still keep their normal starting position. But that will mean that the 7 of Carl Svensson has a completely clear track ahead of him. Here you can see Louise Larsson being pushed back as well. And then at the back of the field, it's the 1 of Jonathan Ölander who's also being pushed back. A green flag is waved at the back of the field. The drivers are waiting for the green lights to go on. First the 5 red lights, then they will go out. There's 1, there's 2. There's 3, there's 4, there is 5. It's lights out, and we're green, green, green. Wheel spinning off the start for Dante Johansson. A good start for Kevin Sørensen. He will take the lead down in the turn 1. Good start also for Elias Adestam. Johan Granfors, watch him starting from P4. Pole sitter for the race yesterday. Elias Adestam troubled in the wet in qualifying. He's dropped down to P5 coming out of the first corner. Here we go, Kevin Sørensen now with the clear sense at the start at the top of the show. Such an incredible wet weather driving. You can see the standing water on the inside of the second part of turn 2. Drivers are going to have to watch out for that. Kevin Sørensen already has about 6-7 car lengths of a lead over Dante Johansson. He's He's driving away with this lead at the moment. Joel Grunfors goes up into P2, gets past Dante Johansson. And he can now chase down Kevin Sørensen at the front. There's also standing water at the bottom of the hill coming out of turn 6. So the drivers are going to have to watch out coming out of there. But Kevin Sørensen, a good start for him. He's now leading this race ahead of Dante Johansson. But Dante Johansson has been passed by Joel Grunfors. Look at the standing water. The aquaplaning almost off the track is the 133. Of Rodrigo Seabra. He's made a good start. He started from P8 and at the moment he's up into P7, gapping the drivers behind him. Also coming back through the field is the 44 of Victor Carlson. He's not had the best of starts and he's trying to make his way through the field into turn 1. Then you can see the gap that Kevin Sørensen has at start finish. It was 1.2 seconds. Is 1.3 quicker than the driver in P2 on that first lap, and that first lap was 1:32.497 for reference. Yesterday we were doing 1:16, so we're going to see what they're going to be able to do in this second lap. This is where we see the pace of today, but definitely a struggling point for the drivers at the moment is the second part of turn 2. There's yellow flags out on track. Trying to localize where that exactly has happened. And it is Louise Larsson off the track, and that is down at turn 7. She's coming out turn 7 going into turn 8, and there she has spun, and that is a problem that we've seen so far. And well, at the moment it is still yellow flags out, no safety cars whatsoever. The 9 of Sørensen is leading, and indeed the safety car is out now. That means that the field is neutralized. There you can see Louise Larsson standing in the grass. She's going to need some assistance. The grass, of course, severely wet after the torrential downpour that we've had overnight. Louise Larsson staying in that car. You can see actually how low the drivers are sitting in these cars. That's going to negate the gap that the 9 of Kevin Sørensen had. The safety car waiting at the safety car line. Here we go. Safety car picks up the field going down to turn 1. There you can see the rescue vehicles. Now it's going to be a waiting game for Louise Larsson to get back out onto the track. The intervention vehicles making their way onto the scene of the accident. Rescue cars also there. You can see how much standing water there is. And that just caught Louise Larsson completely off guard. That has now neutralized the race. How has it neutralized the race, you might ask me? Well, I can tell you how. Kevin Sørensen is leading the way ahead of Joel Grunfors in P2. Dante Johansson in P3 ahead of Andreas Skotebo in P4. Elias Adestam in P5 Alexia Danielsson in 6th. Rodrigo Seabra in P7 ahead of Robin Hofström in P8. P9 then for Victor Carlson. And P10 for Oskar Melstig. 11th for Carl Svensson. 12th for Fredrik Lindholm. Jonathan Ölander in P13. And Johan Valand in P14. And of course Louise Larsson stranded on the sides of the track. She is down in P15 and about to be lapped. Not the best of starts then for Elias Adestam. Came from P9 yesterday, started P3 today due to a very, very incredible comeback yesterday. Well, that has negated everything. He's dropped back down to P5. This safety car restart will give him another shot to pick up a couple of positions. The first one he has to pick off is Andreas Skotebo. He has had an amazing start. And, well, at the start he came all the way from P5, is now up into P4. So a good start for him, gained that one position of Elias Adestam. Safety car is going to go another lap, it seems like. No message from race control that the safety car is going to be coming in this lap. Louise Larsson has been removed from the track and she will not be able to continue. She's not allowed to continue. Here you can see on the left hand side of screen we have 9 minutes left when we come across start finish behind the safety car. We're doing lap times of 2:21. That is taking all the temperature out of these tyres as well. But that means that when the safety car crosses the line again, we have about 8 minutes left. 7.5 of, well, green flag racing, basically. The safety car will come in this lap. That is great to see. Back to green flag racing. We always like to see the green flag racing, basically. But Kevin Sørensen, such an incredible start for him, really. Didn't wheel spin off the start. Dante Johansson did. And he's dropped down to P3. That also gives me some time to react to some of you. MSB MT says, good luck drivers. Damn, poor Larson indeed. Didn't have the best of races yesterday. And not the best of races here today either. But she has another shot later on into the day. And here we go. We're getting ready for the safety car restart. This is always exciting times. Like I said, 7.5 minutes left once we come across start finish. It's now Kevin Sørensen, well, allowed to dictate the pace at the front of the field. And there we go, he's gone back to green. Joel Grandforce was on that from the beginning. He's had a good safety car restart. The man who started pole yesterday is about to retake that first position down into the first corner. It's going to be the outside though of the first corner. Is he going to be able to survive on the outside? A good driver in the white, Kevin Sørensen, and he keeps the inside, and he will keep that P1 that has now allowed Dante Johansson to, well, try and make a move up the insides of Joel Grandforce. Not able to do so. The switchback though from Joel. Struggling there on the inside. Hey, well, Kevin knows exactly where to push Joel to, and that is to the standing water. That is not pushing off the track. And that is just using the track state to your advantage at the moment. But he's going to try again to the outside of the hairpin. Kevin Sørensen putting that car where he needs to. The outside might be the better line through that corner though. The cutback once again tried by Joel Grandforce. He's not going to get it this time round. Now we run down into turn 7. Is he going to get him? He's not. He's going to have to stick behind further back in the field. It is the 44 of Victor Carlson, losing more and more positions. Not really the best of wet weather drives here for him at the moment. Alexia Danielsson is in P6 where she started. And at the moment, Elias Zadestam up into P5 where he did start the safety car restart. And once again, some drivers getting caught out by the standing water on the inside of turn 8. Down, start, finish, we come the top 2. Now have a little bit of a gap to Dante Johansson. A little bit further back, he pulls out to the right-hand side of screen. And he's once again going to have to try it to the outside. Kevin Sørensen knows exactly where to put his car, and once again successfully defends that first position. We saw such a stellar drive by the man at the moment in P3 yesterday. Kevin or Dante Johansson, when he was in P1, knew exactly where to put that car. And Joel basically couldn't find a way past. Neither could Kevin Sørensen. That made Joel drop back all the way down into P4. A little bit further back in the field there you can see Rodrigo Seabra. He's dropped back down into P8. Had a good start. He's once again going to try it around the outside, and he's not going to get it. He tries the cutback, and this time he gets it though. The better drive out of the corner now. He can push Kevin Sørensen into the standing water. Doesn't do that. Kevin Sørensen gets back out. The head's coming out of the corner, and he once again retakes that first position. A stellar defensive drive now from Kevin Sørensen. What I was saying, Rodrigo Seabra hasn't had the best of safety car restarts. Oscar Melstig in P7, an incredible safety car restart from him. Oh, and we have 2 cars off. Goodness me, that is Joel Grandforce and Dante Johansson both got out by the standing water. Oh my, luckily Joel Grandforce is able to get it going again. He tried to move up the inside of Kevin Sørensen. There is no way he's going to get out of there. And Dante Johansson, the winner from yesterday, is out of the car. He's out of the car. We have the safety car out on track. And, well, that might give Kevin Sørensen the win here. 4 minutes left in this race. He's not allowed to get out of the car. He has to stay in it. But Rodrigo Seabra, on that lap, caught back up to P6. Elias Adestam somehow has found this way back up into the podium. It's incredible. He did it yesterday on the last lap, and today he's done it again. Joel Grundfors, though, all the way to the back of the field. And, well, that's not what he was hoping for. Jonathan Ölander, he's catching back up to the field. Joel Grundfors, goodness me. What a terrible, terrible 2 races he's had. Not finishing where he wanted from that pole position, dropping down to P4. I have to excuse myself, that's not too terrible of a result if you saw how close the race was. All top 4 finished within a second. But today, this is not what he was hoping for. But hopefully for him, he's going to have a couple of laps to make up for it. The intervention vehicles are out on track. But I have a feeling that this race will not be restarted. Looking at the lap times we are doing behind the safety car is picking up the drivers once again down into turn 1. Kevin Sørensen will take it easy. We will have that time plus 1 lap. You can see the pond basically in the middle of the track that he is in. That is not great for that car. The intervention team working hard and trying to work quick to get him going again. I think that was the one of Jonathan Ölander coming past. But out of this race, Louise Larsson and Dante Johansson. Well then, how is the field looking at the moment at the safety car? It's Kevin Sørensen still at the front of the field. Andreas Skotebo, he's had a good race in P2. And it is Elias Adestam somehow managing to find his way up into the podium again. Alexia Danielsson in P4. If we look at where Alexia Danielsson has finished so far this season, she's had a couple of good finishes. She's had a pole in there as well. And she also had a P3. So if she can try and manage to find one position, she will equal her season's best result. Safety car is taking it very slow, so we can go racing this lap and basically have one last shootout lap. Here we go, the safety car lights are off. The safety car is gonna come in this lap. They have been given the board. Safety car in this lap. Kevin Sørensen will try to take this as easy as possible. He knows how much time there's left. If he gets to the flag with only, well, with basically 0-0 on the clock, that means that there will only be one lap left, but he's not looking at that at the moment. 13 seconds left on the board, and he's gone green. He will see himself, and he's shot himself in the foot. He's going to come across start finish with about 4 seconds left. If he would have just taken it easy, this would have been the last lap. Not the smart decision there for Kevin Sørensen. No way of communicating for most of these drivers to the pit wall. Kevin Sørensen to the outside, doesn't need to defend. Elias Adestam has to defend now from the 44 of Victor Carlson. Ran out of fuel yesterday. And, well, he has managed to find his way up into P4. Here's the battle between the two. Victor Carlson in the red and white 44. Elias Adestam in the blue, yellow and white number 3. Who of those two is going to finish it? He's going to have a good run going down into the hairpin. He's not going to go for it yet. he's going to have to stick behind intervention vehicles back into pit lane. Also, Rodrigo Seabra behind that. He's in P6 at the moment. He's going to have a look to the outside. He's not going to get it. This Victor Carlson, Alexia Danielsson is right behind that as well. If anything goes wrong up ahead, she is there to pick up the pieces. Standing water in turn 8 is getting less and less, but we have a car stranded out on track. And the 5 of Joel Grunfors has managed to pick up one position, but there's a car stranded out in turn 7, or in turn 5, excuse me, on the run into turn 6. And there might have been some contact, and that will be the last lap, I think, if there is not going to be a safety car thrown out. Look at the gap that they have at the moment. To the inside, though, for the 44. This could be a very big moment. Elias Adestam pushed off the podium. In the background, there was also Rodrigo Seabra making his way past Alexia Danielsson. But Alexia Danielsson able to re-overtake Rodrigo. Off the track, though, is, I have a feeling, Jonathan Ölander in the number 1. Kevin Sørensen still leading the field. He has a bit of a gap now, and he shouldn't give this away. On the podium now, though, is Victor Carlson. The man who ran out of fuel yesterday is going to try and not run out of fuel to the line now. Elias Adestam pushed off the podium. There we can see the stranded car. And it is, I think, indeed, the 7 of Carl Svensson. Carl Svensson is stranded out on track. But Kevin Sørensen, an incredible drive. I tipped him at the top of the show as an incredible wet weather driver. The gap on start finish last time round was 1.9 seconds. And Kevin Sørensen, what a race he has driven. Thought that he shot himself in the foot coming on to start finish, but he's going to win race number 2 here at Gelleråsen Arena. Hand is out of the cockpit. He's very happy with that. The championship leader strengthened his position at the top of the championship, and it was at the line also, almost. Joel Grunfors overtaking Robin Hofström. A 10th in between those two. Andreas Skottebo coming through in P2, and yesterday running out of fuel but finishing in P3. Now Victor Carlson, an incredible race. Hand is still out of the cockpit for Kevin Sørensen. You can see that he's very happy with that result, and rightly so. Tricky conditions for everyone. If Joel Grunfors, a driver with so much experience, goes off the track, aquaplaning off the track, then you know it has been a difficult race. So many difficult positions on the track. And well, here we can see the stranded number 7 of Carl Svensson. Not the race that he was hoping for. Goodness me, what a race we've seen once again. Aquila Formula 1000 never disappoints. Here we have the result. Kevin Sørensen finishing first out of Andreas Skottebo P2. Victor Carlson in third out of Elias Adestam at P4. Not managing to make the podium this time round. Once again struggling a little bit in the wet weather conditions. Alexia Danielsson, a good result for her in P5. Rodrigo Seabra, the Portuguese driver, in P6, only 12 years of age. Oscar Meldstick in P7 out of Robin Hofström. In P8, Joel Grunfors in P9, managing to climb his way back up a little bit. Fredrik Lindholm in P10, a good race for him too. Then we go to P11, Johan Valand and Jonathan Ölander finishing in P12. Carl Svensson, Dante Johansson and Louise Larsson not able to finish this race, not able to see the checkered flag. As you can see out on track, the race is over and the sun has found his way to the circuit. Well, not the race that Louise Larsson was hoping for. And the intervention vehicle is now going to pick up Carl Svensson, who is not able to see the checkered flag in this race. But a good race from Kevin Sørensen and a good race from Andreas Skottebo, who, well, we have to say, came from P5, and an incredible result coming from P5, especially in these tricky conditions. Keeping it on track was very, very important. You might ask me, when will the second race be of today? That is 13:20 Central European Summer Time, 13:20 local time here at the track as well. I thank you all very much for joining us here for race number 2 of the Akita Synergy Cup Akita Formula 1000. and I will see you at 13:20 local time, 13:20 Central European Summer Time. Until then, stay safe, and we'll see you there. Bye-bye.